Hey, everybody, welcome to a special episode called SG Spark. It's a part of our Sum Gigante program, and tonight we're celebrating graduates of our coaching certification program. I'm Nick Smith, and just briefly want to give you an idea of what 12 Journeys is so that you know what that is, and then we'll introduce everybody that's in the room here. So 12 Journeys is the creation from the book, The Giants and the Smalls. It's a program and a framework that's designed to help you heal from the inside out to make a significant change in your world. And so we focus on 6 root journeys where we dive into your inner world and look at the stories that you're telling. We help you to wake up to those, to learn how to navigate emotions and feel those in a way that's more empowering, to accept your life as it is without resignation, to move into gratitude and toward empowerment. And then from there, we step into the growth journeys where we learn how to navigate uncertainty, use the abundance that surrounds us, set visions, use surrender and nurture to grow our visions, and then ultimately leave our impact in the world. And so this is a celebration of people who've graduated as partners of that program who are taking this into their own coaching platforms. And I want to go around the room and introduce everybody. Or have you introduce yourself. So Andy, I'm going to start with you in my top screen. So if you could tell people who you are and how you discovered the 12 journeys and what you intend to use them for. Is that good?
Yes. I bet everyone could kind of guess.
Yeah.
I came upon this man named Nick Smith who has this who created this. So I was curious about it and I wanted to learn more about it, and I just love the work you do. So that is why I'm here, and that's how I got here. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
David McDougall.
Yeah. Hi.
Tell us about you.
Found out about 12 Journeys through a good friend of mine, Sunshine Hammer, who's also a 12 Journeys coach. And my thing was I needed some type of a training to integrate into my nature therapy practices that I work on with people. And I found 12 Journeys was this perfect integration. It fits in with the Tree of Life and chakras and 12 Tribes of Israel and a whole bunch of other stuff. And it's just it's a great way that I've found to communicate with people to help them guide through their processes and improving their lives.
Awesome. Yeah, it's good to have you here. Laura Lunt.
Yes, I'm Laura Lunt, and I found the 12 Journeys through the Tribe of Giants just on Facebook by accident. And I took Nick up on one of those free coaching sessions he offers, and I was like, that was very powerful. That was amazing. And it shifted a lot of things for me in 1 hour. So then when he said that he was going to do the program, I'm like, well, I definitely want to be a part of that. So I did it, and then I did it again, and then I did it again because I can't stop because I love it. I love how things that I create with it are amazing. There's nothing now that I can't create. Like I just get ideas and I'm like, I'm gonna go do that, and I make it. So that's very powerful for me to not have limitations anymore. That's one of the things that we created. We collaboratively created Limitless Giant to continue to support people. We talked about this last night in our Limitless Giant group about how sometimes even after we learn something, we tend to get a little complacent and we forget the things that we learned. So I like being engaged in this group and helping people to not become complacent, right? To keep growing and striving for new things.
I like that. Thank you. Rebecca, I don't know if you have audio or you just get to see her still photo. So Rebecca is based out of Australia in Melbourne and has been part of the program for several years now, right? On the 12 Journeys, she's a co-creator of the Limitless Giant or co-collaborator on the Limitless Giant. And I don't know if she'll be able to join us here. Doesn't seem like she's got audio. I want to talk about, so we'll move on to breakthroughs. What was your biggest realization as you're going through and looking, because you want to integrate this into your own programs. Laura, you came up with Limitless Giant. David, you're using it in your program. What was your biggest realization or breakthrough? Andrea, you're using it in your personal life and with your business. What was your biggest realization or breakthrough from the 12 journeys? Why do you think it's so impactful for you? And anybody in the room can start. Do you want me to? I'm happy to choose too. David, yeah, let's go there.
Yeah, I thought it was great. For me, it gave a path to follow for people, and that's the thing. Like with my niche therapy, it take people do a lot of hiking, getting them out walking and talking, and we need a destination usually to get to. And that's what's great about 12 Journeys is that it provides a pathway and a methodology to get people to where they want to be. And so that just works so well in line with what I do. Get people out walking and talking, and then just guide them through the journey as we go along.
Did you have a favorite journey or a set of favorite journeys that really stood out for you personally?
Two in particular, right off the bat. The journey of gratitude, the journey of self-acceptance.
Yeah, tell me why.
Those two I feel are pivotal. The journey of gratitude is impactful in that it puts people, when you're in a state of gratitude, you can't be in a state of lack. You're thinking about things that you're grateful for. You're not thinking about things that you don't like or don't want in your life. And we tend to move in a direction of where we think. And so the more we think about things we have gratitude about, we move towards those things and reinforce them. And I felt that that's such a great one.
Yeah.
And then additionally, the journey of self acceptance is particularly pivotal in that, and I talk about this when I take people out. And we can look at a tree, we can look at a rock, we can look at the twisted movement in a stream, and we completely accept it for what it is, and it's beautiful itself just because it exists. And that's what we forget to do for ourselves. We don't accept ourselves for who we are. It's always there's a comparison. If I was only better looking, if I was only thinner, if I was only faster, stronger, wealthier. When we just learn to accept ourselves exactly where we are, love ourselves for who we are in the moment as we are, and fall in love with the person who's making the decision to make the change in our life, to put us to move us in the right direction, to move us towards our goals. Those are the two that I like in particular, and that's where I found them so impactful.
I like that. So many of us have not been trained in developing these skills around the 12 journeys. And so when you learn them, you start to practice them and you get better and better at it. Yeah. And in the beginning, you're not very good at it. I wasn't very good at it. I'm still practicing it. I know the 12 journeys inside and out, and I still find myself waking up, going through the journey of self-acceptance, going through the journey of grief, going through emotions and empowerment. Right. So it seems to be these journeys are lifelong. You never really arrive somewhere, but they're a repetition and a framework of resilience. Is that how you see it?
Most definitely. Okay.
Recently
I was coaching a friend of mine. He's going through a breakup, and that the journey of grief was one in particular that you'd mentioned. And just let him know it's okay. You're allowed to feel that way. You're allowed to grieve it. It's a loss of something. And making it acceptable for people to feel that, and then moving on to that self-acceptance. It's like, you did the best you could with what you knew in that moment. And so it's been a great tool for guiding people through that. Since
I like that.
A bunch of people in the singles world that really need the help.
Yeah. Laura, do you have thoughts on that? What are your favorite journeys and why?
They shift.
Yeah.
So I think when the very first time that I went through the SG program, it was surrender, learning how to surrender. I like things that are disciplined and consistent, and I'm a very responsible person, and I like structure. And when things didn't align the way I thought that they should, it would stress me out, and surrender taught me how to go with the flow a little better.
Okay.
Be open to other possibilities. So, which is funny because probably my favorite, not the hardest was surrender, but my favorite journey is the journey of uncertainty, because I love to play in possibility. Well, that didn't work. How about this? So, which is funny that I had a hard time surrendering, but my favorite one is uncertainty, where we get to play and explore and feel limitless, you know.
How do you see that tying into your clients, the people that you serve?
Well, I serve people a little bit differently. I'm a massage
Yeah.
therapist. So,
Yeah.
but you know, they come there for my counseling services as well.
I mean, you got somebody on the table. They're a captive audience, right?
Well, it's funny. Massage therapists will say the issues are in the tissues. So when you're massaging somebody, you'd be surprised the things that come out of them. And they're like, I don't know why I said that. I'm like, the issues are in the tissues. But because I have the 12 journeys framework, I can usually fall back on a journey and help them to work through that physically as well as mentally, spiritually, that kind of thing. So I love having these tools for when somebody has to express something that they've been holding on to for a long time. I know what I can fall back on. When probably before I was just kind of like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, just keep talking it out. I'll just keep rubbing. So it is nice to have something to help them with.
And the body stores a lot. So that's another thing, doing massage therapy and using the 12 journeys when people are releasing. It really is nice to go into maybe the journey of gratitude or a grief and talk about the release of emotions and how important that is. And then maybe teach them tools to do that.
That was one of my clients today, was experiencing grief, and I got into her shoulders and it just started pouring out. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, I was talking about empowerment tools, things that will help her. And then I said, we talked about grief and how it was okay to be still experiencing what she was experiencing, how grief never goes away. It just kind of starts to soften and it's always there. You're always going to miss that part, but how things get created around it. And we talked about some things that she loves to do. So I didn't have that tool before to be able to serve people. So I'm grateful that I have it.
I love that. Andy, do you have some thoughts? What are you're on mute there? But what are your favorite journeys? Yeah.
Surrender, acceptance, and gratitude. Surrender, because I like to control things, you know, and so like kind of go hand in hand. Once you surrender, you're able to accept and what is, and be more present in the moment instead of trying to control things. So it's hard because I like to control things. I like to know a guaranteed outcome. So that, and then also along with being just surrendering and accepting, is being in the moment, like being like just grateful for the little things that come our way. Just every day, there's always something to be thankful for, and it seems to make life a little smoother.
I like that. As you guys went into the back office of the partner portal and started going through the information, what were your impressions of that? David, do you have some thoughts around that? Like, how did that help your business? What did you learn from that? Like, how did you grow from the partner portal?
From that, I found, well, number one is there's just a great amount of information, and then all the AI integration tools have been extraordinarily helpful. But as far as in the back end of the portal, it's been great for me to go in if I have something more specific that I'm looking for to talk with somebody about, using some of the search options and be able to drill down and find a little bit more specific information has been really helpful.
Yeah.
And also being able to print out and share some information with people. You know, some of the videos have been great as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Laura, how about you?
That's what I was going to say, is the fact that all those resources are in one place and I know where they are. And so then when something comes up, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this video and I know exactly where to find it, and I can pull it off and share it with people. So that's been the most valuable to me, to have everything available. So when I do have a conversation with somebody and I remember, there's something that's valuable, a video or an article or something like that, I know exactly where to find it. I can pull it off really fast and send them a YouTube link or a, thing. So I really love that.
That's awesome. I know that with AI, the integration of AI into everything, we have the 12 Journeys AI application. There's also a tool in there that teaches you coaching modalities, so that you can actually go in and start practicing on your coaching, because a lot of coaches are coming into this industry and they love coaching, but they don't have the training to do the coaching, the application. Do you find that you're able to apply it more effectively because of AI? Those that are using it?
Yes, I would 100% have been able to use that. I think I even messaged you a couple of times along the way that with particular journeys that I was talking about, one of the things I do with my group of people is I try to set an intent or a meditation each time I take people, a group of people out. And so using the AI integration with 12 Journeys is I can choose one of the journeys to say, I'd like to talk about this. If I'm going to take people out in nature and we're going to be out in the desert or we're going to be on a mountain trail, give me some direction or points to integrate into my my communication for the group, like help me come up with an intent. And then it's been really good about giving that to me and giving little tidbits of information for people to look at along the way. One of the things was that it came up with is to do a like a gathering of little bits of information along the way, like look for something specific, look for beauty in a tree, or look for I don't know, just something memorable along the way to hold on to. So, and it's been really good in that way. And so I've been able to use the AI in particular to give people some direction along the way. This is one of the hardest thing to do, is as we're trying to come up with ways to talk to people, is to come up with fresh all the time. And so it's been exceptional for that.
The idea generation, the brainstorming, especially from the context of the 12 Journeys, being able to do what we've done in Limitless, Laura, to take different books or different topics and then go for a month on 12 journeys of, morning mastery or whatever we choose, relationship. It's amazing how the 12 journeys tie into every facet of our lives. And why do you think that is? Why do you think the 12 journeys work the way that they do from your point of view?
Okay, but can I go back to the AI thing first?
Yes. Yep.
I am not familiar with this kind of stuff. I'm a massage therapist. I don't know math or English or computers. Like my hands work. But I can tell you that those tools are fantastic for people like me who are unfamiliar. I mean, it did take a little bit of coaching from you to help, but you were more than willing to help. So something that scared me before and I wasn't sure of and very uncertain about has opened up a lot of possibilities and has become very fun, like something that I use quite often now. So thank you for that, because
that's very cool. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I know if things get too spaghetti, then they get lost, right? But how has it been for you? So you've been applying the 12 journeys to the Limitless Giant community and being able to implement it with just about any book, any topic. Why do you think that works so well?
I think it works so well because it breaks things down better. Where you can get a deeper understanding in areas where you're stuck. So sometimes we read these self-help books, or you go to a training or a retreat or something like that, and you're so excited, and then you go home and you're like, okay, that was nice, and then it just fades away.
Yeah.
But by applying the 12 journeys to it, you can be like, oh, that's awesome. And oh, here's where this applies. This is my stuck point, maybe in this new thing that I'm learning. And this is how I can overcome it. Instead of getting stuck in like, oh, well, this is a really cool thing. I wish I could do it, but I can't. I don't know how to get.
Yeah. I don't have the programming, right?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
yeah.
And so then you have the 12 journeys where you experience anything, life, stress, a new book, a new program or whatever. And you have this foundational pieces where you can walk yourself through it when you feel stuck. And that's how you get to keep going. That's how you can progress more, I guess.
Yeah. So anytime we start something new, it doesn't matter what it is, we're going to go back through the 12 journeys. We're going to go back through the root journeys, through the growth journeys on that. And the reason for that is because we've got to overcome old programming. And that old programming is going to continue to try and run the show. And until we dive into it, we'll keep trying to do something new, but the old programming will get in the way of that something new. Have you guys experienced that or seen clients experience that?
Well, I think that has a lot to do with, I mean, like you could apply it to anything. So like you were saying, relationships,
Yeah.
you know, and, you know, David's talking to, we're in the singles realm, you know, and it's like people have not taken care of the roots. And then they go out and they're trying to create something new, but they haven't gotten past their issues that they have and learned to work through them. So, I mean, it applies in so many areas.
Yeah. Have you seen it in our relationship? And for those that don't know, that
I've seen you like,
we have one of those. Yeah.
I like how verbal you are. Like you'll stop and go, you know what? This is mine. This is not yours to own. And let me figure out where this came from. And you'll kind of talk it through. You know, so you are kind of going back and going, okay, where's this coming from? You're not projecting it onto me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I definitely think it's being used.
Yeah. What does that bring up? David, did you have some thoughts around that?
As far as using it in interpersonal relationships?
Yeah, in relationship or even, you know, with your clients, you know, tying it into their challenges.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's well, obviously the first one is the journey of non-consciousness. A lot of people they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're not aware that they're unaware, and so that's kind of ground zero thing. So we can move people into awareness, and then they start to be able to process things in their relationships.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this. So what have been your biggest challenges now that you know the 12 journeys? What have been your challenges? Have they shifted?
Yeah, I can't make excuses anymore.
You can't get off the hook.
No.
Isn't that amazing?
No, it's not. Yes, it is.
It's not, and it is. Like I can relate to that because it's so challenging to know the framework to work through anything.
Yeah.
And to still have issues come up.
Yeah.
I used the AI thing with grief, you know, and just talked it through. Like you don't realize it, and then you kind of go, okay, I'm experiencing grief, you know, and then I used the AI for just kind of talking me through it, and it definitely helped a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, David, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're totally good. Yes, it's been interesting because just because we have the knowledge doesn't preclude us from having issues come up.
Right.
It just gives us a better tool chest to manage them, and the thing like I've noticed for me personally is my time to awareness and response to it have been significantly reduced. Sometimes we don't know that we don't know because we're so unaware, but once you're aware, and then you have this toolbox of the 12 journeys available, what I'm finding is, you know, I'll still get things will still bother me.
Yeah.
That's never going to go away. But then I step back. Then as soon as I feel something, I'm like, well, wait a minute, what is this? and then I can step back through and really sort out what it is, and then figure out, well, what am I feeling? Well, I'm feeling grief. Okay, well, what am I? Why am I grieving? Why do I feel grief about this? That I can take myself through that journey quickly, and instead of sitting in something for a week, it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Isn't that incredible? Like you can identify yourself on the map essentially. So you notice I'm in the journey of grief. I'm feeling anger, frustration, sadness. I'm in the journey of grief. And then
Yeah.
the moment you recognize that you're there, now you're also in the journey of awareness in the journey of grief.
Yeah.
And then you go back into the journey of non-consciousness to navigate where that came from and why it's there. And really just recognize it's there so that now you can start to grow in a new direction. You know, they say that you don't want to put your effort into stopping the old. You want to put your effort into changing or creating the new, right? And it really helps you to do that faster. It doesn't take it away. And I think that's where most programs kind of miss out is there's this promise that it'll take away the challenges, that life's going to get easy.
Mhm.
I think the challenges get a little more challenging is because you got so good at the easy stuff. Now let's throw in some of the hard stuff and see how you do with that. Laura, do you agree with that?
The thought that I had come up, yes, I agree with that. But I'm
Yeah.
not going to expound on it right now because I had a thought
You
that
bet.
came up.
You bet. Yeah.
A common thing that I notice or I hear from other people who've gone through the program and use it is the journey of awareness instead of just being an observer. We tend to judge ourselves. I
Mm.
think that's the biggest challenge is I know this stuff. Why am I doing this again? You know, I know how to get out of these non-conscious behaviors, these habits that I've formed, and then I fall back into them and we get a little bit judgy of ourselves. But
Yeah.
we forget those are a part of us and just to re-engage when we do. So I would say that would be the most common and probably one of the challenges that
Yeah. The journey of awareness talks about judgment and how we judge ourselves. And especially when you know information, it's easier to judge yourself even more harshly over that information. But when you learn the 12 journeys, you learn to navigate through that, like you said, David, more quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have a client experience? You talked about a few of them that maybe comes to mind of somebody that you worked through this with, and it could be your own.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's been my own, and you know, in the process of dating and making connections, and sometimes those connections don't work out the way that we want them to, and then so you go from the journey of grief, but you don't sit in it. It's like, oh, that sucks, and it's like then you get in the journey of awareness. And then what I've noticed is then transitioning into the journey of abundance after that, because it's like there's no scarcity. You know, it's like you're not looking for everybody. You're just looking for one person just to choose you back. That's it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of possibilities out there.
Limitless, right? The resources are there, the possibilities are there. And sometimes we get blinded by our own perceptions. And so there's a comment by Chris Smith. He says, possibility exists, limitation is created. And that's where the journey of uncertainty, Laura, like you talk about, is so exciting and challenging at the same time because literally nothing is off the table. Everything is available to us. But if we see limitation, then that's a creation, but possibility just flat out exists. And so I love that idea. Now, as you look at the 12 Journeys program, what are some things that you wish it had that might make it even more impactful?
I was like, oh, me.
Yeah.
More people.
Okay.
It. That's it. Like I feel like it's simple enough. It just needs more people to experience it.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I would change.
Yep. Cool. Andy, how about you?
I'm thinking.
Yeah. And Beck, you could share in the comments. And I agree, Laura. Like, I think more people experiencing the 12 journeys, getting curious about it. What is it? What do they do? How is this going to help me? Do I need this? The answer is yes. And you don't realize how much you need it until you have it. And the 12 journeys framework came from really exploring my own challenges in my life. So when I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, I took medications, I was doing therapy, it wasn't working. And so I started looking for solutions that would help me to navigate that. And if I could get rid of it, great. But if I could at least manage it, that's what I wanted to do. And so the 12 journeys all came from the book, The Giants and the Smalls, but they were fine-tuned through conversations, through coaching, through learning, by reading books. I mean, I read every book I could get my hands on about mental health, got my degree in industrial organizational psychology. Like, I couldn't get enough. I was too curious about how do we solve anxiety? How do we manage it in a way that I can go live a fairly normal life? And so the 12 journeys evolved from a desire to really just fix that. And each of the journeys is designed to really give us grace in our life around who we are and the humanness of what we do. You know, we go out there and we try and create something new and we're not good at it. And we suck at it. And then we judge ourselves for sucking at it. And then we quit because we don't want to suck at things. And then we never really get good at it. And all these things that we see people having in their lives, most of it, the majority of it, is earned or developed. You know, they take something they weren't very good at and they create into it to where they get more proficient at it. They get better and better. And so the 12 journeys gives you a framework of resilience and perseverance to go back into your roots and come back out, you know, and grow in new ways. And so where do you see yourself going with the 12 journeys after graduating? So what would you like to do with the 12 journeys in your personal world? Anybody want to tackle that?
We were talking the other day about kind of like taking it into relationships and kind of working together on that.
I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're two messy people coming together, learning the 12 journeys, teaching others how to do that inside of relationship too, right? Well, you're not messy, I'm messy. How about that? That's better. I love that idea, you know, taking it into relationship. And like Laura said, you know, having more people bring it into their practices. For sure. Laura, how about you? Where do you see yourself taking it?
I just use it every day, here and there, wherever it applies. What I'm creating with it is just that more people experiencing it. I was thinking before this, my thought was, all the things before were like Band-Aids, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the 12 journeys is more like, okay, why is that a festering wound? Like, look in there and figure it out first. Yeah. Instead of slapping Band-Aids on things. And so I use the 12 journeys in conversations with clients, with and massage clients specifically, in my wellness practice, helping people just, if they're stuck, if they're saying, you know, I got this health issue going on, then sometimes we're okay, let's find out where this is coming from. And it's interesting to use the 12 journeys in just even physical health type things. I like using it with my kids. I like using it just in my daily life. Like, it's not something that has to be put into a practice. It's very useful to put into a coaching practice or a counseling practice, but it
doesn't have to, right?
It's just a tool that I use every day. And the cool thing about it is, because it's something that I have, I can create some amazing things. Like, I created a business. We collaborated and created Limitless, which I think serves a lot. And just bringing joy in areas that you just didn't even know were there. So
I like it. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily, well, it doesn't have to be just coaching or consulting. It can tie into relationship, like Andy's saying. It can tie into massage therapy. It can go into any business. Companies can take it in with their teams and teach their teams the 12 journeys. It creates ownership. Like Dave, you can't be the victim anymore of your life, you know? And how about you? Where do you see yourself taking it?
You know, it's interesting is that you hear everybody talk. It just it gives me more ideas.
Huh.
But it's obviously taking it in using it in my own relationships. And I thought about this in particular. I've had in the last month, one of my daughters had some challenges in her relationship, and so for me, it's taking this into parenting adult children, because my daughters now at 25 years old face significantly different challenges when they were 5. And that's what I'm finding at this age. They need dad even more. And it's pretty interesting. They don't need me to, depend. They don't depend on me for their physical needs, but as far as like a continuing to guide them into adulthood, I think this is a great thing for parents to have. I think it's a tremendous tool for that. So that's one. That's a new thing that just had popped into my head as I was listening in. And then over and above that, I was asked to be a guest speaker with Sherry Braithwaite. She's doing the dating Olympics that are starting in August, and that's going to go for about a month. And she asked me to be a guest speaker.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to integrate the 12 journeys into that, and then I'm going to do some activities with the participants, and then we'll have our closing ceremonies and some coaching possibilities there as well. So I'm going to integrate it into that. And then over and above that, I've got a couple of people that I've had some great conversations with to begin some collaborations to do some retreats.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So
let me ask you this. What questions, let's go a different direction. For those that are maybe watching this and curious about the 12 journeys, what would you say to them about the 12 journeys for them? Why should they consider this for themselves?
I think very often as adults, we kind of have little bits and pieces of information that are put together. However, they're not tied together in a way that gives an ease of understanding. And I think that's where the 12 journeys come in, is that it gives us the pathway to understand, to build our root system, to provide some stability in what we're doing, then to guide us through really the rest of our lives with whatever challenges that may come up, because there's so many different areas where the 12 journeys can apply in our lives, whether personal, professional, if you want to be a coach, if you're building a company, if you're a leader and you're leading people. Very often we don't necessarily have a pathway to guide people through, and that's why I love the 12 journeys, is because it's given me a roadmap, and it will give anybody a roadmap to give some guidance on life solutions.
Yeah, I as you say that, I think of a lot of training programs that I went through. They give you this really cool tool, and it works perfectly. The only challenge is the person using the tool. And the 12 journeys underlies and allows a person to kind of move out of the way anything that would get in the way of that tool working effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like wealth creation or relationship creation. A lot of times people give really good advice and we're not able to take it or use it because of who we're being inside of ourselves. And so for me, the 12 journeys has allowed me to start developing in new ways because I'm clearing out the stuff that's getting in the way of me making that tool effective. Do you guys see that as well?
I do.
Yeah.
Laura,
yeah, go ahead. You don't see it? It cut out there. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
Are you waiting for me, Nick, or are you waiting for
somebody? Yeah. You said something, but it cut. So we'll just move on. I didn't hear it. Okay. So, yeah. So Laura, how about you? What would you say to somebody?
my thought was, I know that there's a flood of information, like
Mm.
of ways to improve your life and be happy, and everybody's trying to sell some happiness pill, right? Um, so when I was really sick, I was sick for about 10 years. I would try anything to get better. Maybe that's where people have to get to as a possibility. Like they just have to get to the point where they're just sick and tired of being sick and tired, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you have to get that far, but what I would tell everybody is just get curious. Just try it. Just try something. Try a coaching call with, any
Yeah.
of these coaches here. Have a conversation and experiment with these 12 journeys for an hour. And that's all I did. The very first time that I was introduced to the 12 journeys, it was a 1 hour experiment and my mind was blown. And I went and shifted my whole business and it significantly improved in 1 hour. And I was like, that worked. I'm going to try something else. And I dove in a little bit more and I dove in a little bit more. It's not like if I'm going to commit to this, I have to do the full program and I have to figure this all out all at once. It's just start getting curious and start playing with it. Because that's when you'll see that this works. So like I was saying, when I was sick, I'd try something for 8 weeks, a medicine or something. If it didn't work, I'd just stop. It wasn't a big deal. I just got curious. Is this going to work? Didn't work. But now I hike mountains and I work out every day before I was going to die. So just try it. You got nothing to lose.
Literally. I mean,
Yeah.
you were in a space where you couldn't do those things.
Nope.
And now you're doing them. Yeah.
Took up space on the planet and used air. So yeah, I don't do that anymore. But
that's powerful.
Just get curious.
Yeah, I love that. Andy, how about you? What would you say? You're on mute.
What's going on in my mind right now is like, for people that don't know, or they're, it is they hear 12 journeys, but I was just trying to think of like a good image, like an imagery with a list of all 12 journeys and just little tidbits of that to get people kind of going, oh, okay, and rather than, oh, well, what's that? Or, dismissing it, but kind of seeing each journey. And I don't know, this is totally irrelevant, but this is what's bouncing around in my head right now, just to get it out there to help people.
Yeah, we have an infographic that does that. And that's something maybe I'll share after inside of the groups. But it has a
Is it a big circle?
No, it's actually an infographic. So it shows each of the 12 journeys and what they do. And I think Marta Barlow printed it out and put it on her door. Is that right? So I believe that's the case. I'll share it. So I'll show it to you.
So when Andy was talking, I don't know where it is, but somewhere we have a little roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're starting on a journey, you just go to the first stop. You don't make it all the way to the end on the first try, right?
Right.
You just go little by little. And that's what I was imagining when she was saying that. Just a roadmap, like take it step by step and see where it takes you. And then if you don't like the destination it's taking you, you get off that trail and you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I promise when you get to the end of this trail, it's worth it.
Yeah.
because then it's not just one trail. It's like all these other possibilities and all these other roads that are opening up, and it's exciting. So
that's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on today. We have our certificates. I think, Laura, do you have yours as well already? Andy has hers. David, I actually have yours. It's real, man. So I'll get it to you. And I've got Sunshine's here. And Andy, you've got yours there. And Beck, I believe you have yours. But I want to congratulate you guys for graduating the program, for taking this into your practices, for taking it out to the world, because you're going to do that in a way I can't. And that's what's beautiful is I get to be on stage wherever you're at, essentially. Like Dave, you're out there hiking with people. I get to be there in some form because of what you've done with our program here. And Laura, you're massaging people. I'm not massaging people, but in a way I get to be there. Right. And Andy, you as well. Right. So I just appreciate you guys for what you're doing in the world, for taking the 12 journeys out to your community. We hope you do incredible things with it. My goal is to support you and serve you while you serve others. So that's my vision. And so as we continue to move forward in the 12 Journeys community, I hope that you'll continue to lean on me. If you have questions, if you need to brainstorm, if you have ideas, that's what I'm here to support you with. And for those that are watching, if you're curious about the 12 Journeys, reach out to one of these powerful people on this call and have that conversation. Reach out to David, Laura, Andy, Rebecca, and ask them about the 12 Journeys and have a conversation. It will change your world. Promise you that. Is there anything else you guys want to share today before we wrap up?
This was fun as always.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. Have a great night. And I look forward to supporting you.
Good night. Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.